Hello, good day, and Shukra once again. We will be looking at the market again for the week, like we normally do on this channel. If this is your first time on this channel, ensure you subscribe and like, also share. All right, so let's go. So we'll be looking at firstly, let's look at what the market did, last week. We saw what DXY, the dollar index did. I remember last week I was saying that NFP, the non-farm payroll of that we normally have on Friday, would determine what the market would do, direction we're going to take. And I've been saying that I've been bullish on DXY, and I think that was right. This is the weekly time frame, as you can see. So we'll see push it to the upside. If we go to the daily time frame, you see that we finally finally seem to have closed a little bit above this range that we've been battling for days, for weeks. I think we battled this area for like almost 2 weeks. This range, where I put it seems I put this price in a box. You see around 103, 103.87, and the support around 102, been going up and down. But finally on Friday, we seem to have closed. We have a candle that closed above price around 103.79. But for me, if you ask me, I don't think I don't think we are totally out of the wood, because as you can see, we still have a resistance to battery here. All right. But then if you look at the weekly time frame, this is looking super bullish, and considering the fact that we are in this zone, we broken into this zone. And remember a couple of weeks ago, after we bottom here, I say we should be pushing the outside. And that is exactly what is happening right now. So I'm still super bullish, like I said. But then on Monday, I mean, when the market finally opened later today, what I always say is I don't buy at the resistance point. You want to wait for price to pull back for you so that you can enter at a better price. What normally happens is that you normally have like a pullback, up to say 50% of this, bullish engulfing candle most times. After market open, you want price to come to you. You don't want to jump in, so that the mistake most people do is that they jump in. We already know that price is bullish, right? And then we want to take a buy. But the mistake a lot of people do at market open, they just jump in. And what normally happens is that price now pulls back and eat their stop loss. And you hear them talking about saying that there's a lot of manipulation in the market. If you go to 4 hour time frame, you will notice that we are still in that range, right? But then the market sentiment is to the upside. So you want to wait to see a proper pullback. Okay, proper pullback. And even not only that, you want to also see that you wait to see if you get a candlestick that actually, form a sweep and bottom before you take your buy. So to most time, what I normally do is to try and find a point where I can use a trend line to pinpoint, what price is likely to do. For example, you can get your trend line, up to this point and wait for price to come to you. All right, it's a waiting game, like I always say on this channel. Trading is a waiting game. You need to learn to be very patient. All right. And the question a lot of people will ask, is that what if price doesn't pull back? And fine, if price doesn't pull back as the way you expect it, then you let it go. Let it go. There's no point chasing price. I don't chase price. The price doesn't pull back to the point I want it to come, to my point of interest or to my point of area where I feel price should come to, then that means I just let that trade go. There's always another time, so you have to have that mentality to know that, price will always, do what it wants to do. You cannot control it. We only anticipate. All right. So if price doesn't come to your point of view or your point of interest, you just let it go. There will always be another trade. All right, I would say that. So let's move on. So gold, however, I've been saying that, I'll be careful jumping on a buy, on gold. So I really didn't, trade gold throughout, last week, because I actually noticed that way for gold also. I want us to break out of this range before I start taking a buy. All right. And that's why I've literally just stay out of this trade. I'm looking for an opportunity for gold to actually push out of this, range and test, and then I can join and continue to the upside. But then we did see that happen even on NFE. We price pull back for gold. All right, if you go to the weekly, time frame, gold is still looking a little bit bullish because this support is still holding. So like I said, I'll still be waiting for it to push out for me before I start jumping on the buy for gold, because this is looking bullish for the weekly time frame. On the daily time frame, however, what I'll be expecting for gold to do is to probably pull back this week. We have this pullback to probably to come and test this support before we see price going back up. If gold doesn't break this support, if this support hold for gold this week, then probably for this month, then we should be pushing to the upside. You go to the daily time, to the 4-hour time frame also, you will see that it's looking like that we might come and take this support before we continue the upside. All right. So let's look at what Bitcoin is doing. For Bitcoin, I've been saying, for a lot of, if you've been listening to me, on this channel, I've been saying so many times that, Bitcoin is bullish, especially this year, that it has been confirmed that the Federal Reserve, they are not going to cut interest. They are going to cut interest rate, pardon me. And now we saw that the last interest rate that they announced on Wednesday, or was it on Thursday? It was on Wednesday, that interest rate is going to remain the same. So they kept it the same. So, and everybody's hopeful that we hope that this year, like they say, they're going to cut interest rate 3 times this year. So for me, the crypto market is bullish because of that. And also, we're going to be having Bitcoin halving this year. So I expect Bitcoin to keep going to the upside. So for me, every pullback for me for Bitcoin is an opportunity for me to buy again, because I know Bitcoin is going to be going to the it's going to be bullish this year. So I'm always looking for Bitcoin to pull back, then I buy. I'm even praying for a further pullback to the. If you remember, I said it last week. Yeah, I'm waiting for a further pullback to this range, probably around 33,000. Let's just hope that happens. I'm not even talking about technical now. I'm just saying generally that I hope that Bitcoin, come back to around that range. Although we've seen a bottom around 38,000. So I hope that price comes and break this support, and they will pull further down so that I can, take more positions. And also, if you have studied the crypto markets, over the time since the past 10 years plus, you'll notice that each time Bitcoin pull back, other altcoins also equally pull back. So my goal actually is for, if I see Bitcoin pull back properly, I can buy other altcoins also alongside as I'm buying Bitcoin. All right. So I would say that let's check what pounds USD is doing. Pounds is also still in this range. Pounds is still in this range. If you know what I mean, still battling this price. But then we are looking right now. We are looking super, super, super bearish. All right. So we are looking super, super, super bearish for pounds USD. If you go to the weekly time frame, although we are still in this range, so we actually also be looking for price to pull back, and then I'll be looking for opportunity, a very good opportunity to sell, as long as this price holds at this at 1.278. All right, I'll actually be looking for opportunity to sell for pounds, for Euro USD as well. Euro USD seems to have closed. Remember last week that we are actually bouncing around this price range, and then finally Euro USD seems to have closed below that point. Price has closed below that point, so I'm expecting price to probably test this support that I've done resistance and then continue to the downside for Euro USD. If you check the weekly time frame as well, you see that is what we seem to be having. Price seems to be pointing to the downside, and don't forget, like I said earlier, you don't want to jump in on a sell immediately market open. You want price to probably have a pullback so that you can, enter at a very good price range. Let's see what GJ is doing. remember last week I remember somebody sent me a mail. I was saying that you believe that because I was saying that I believe pounds JPY. If you look at the weekly time frame, because we've tested this price point before, I think that was in November last year, and then we pull back, and then we price kept bouncing up and going back up. So I was saying that this is I'm waiting for this point to be broken. You know, for this price to break at 188, so that we keep pushing to the upside. So somebody sent me a mail and he said he believed that price is going to come down. There's going to be a big rejection around there. Although on the weekly time frame is looking like it anyway. So, but then for me, I'm still kind of bullish on pounds JPY. If you go to the monthly time frame, you will notice that pounds JPY has been super bullish. If I see, we've been super bullish. You know, if you look at the old price point, that we only have a pullback. I think this was in 2007 all the way to around 2009. So we've been pushing to the upside ever since. I think since April 2020. So I believe that this the um the bullish momentum should continue to around this point. I think around 196 before we see a major pullback. All right. So there's a trade I've been sharing in the group. If you're not in my Telegram group, I'll be dropping a link in the description below. It's free to join. Make sure you join us. We've been in this trade. I've been holding this trade for some time. I expect Euro GBP, you know, to continue to the upside. I took some profits anyway last week, but I'm still holding some position on this bit. That's why, and I've shared in the group, and I'm still holding this position. I even if price, as long as this support holds, this area holds, that's where I have my stop loss. As long as it doesn't this area, this support holds, I expect Euro GBP to still keep pushing to the upside. All right. So I'm gonna be seeing you guys, you know, in the next video. Have a beautiful, beautiful trading week. Thank you.